We have been talking for a long time on this channel how we're currently going through a massive transformation in the financial system from the analog, outdated traditional system to the brand new space age digital financial system. And you will never believe who just got on board with this vision. In this video, I want to share with you that everyone is now starting to see that the future financial system is going to be based on blockchain technology and powered by digital assets like XRP. Guys, this is going to be a shocking video when you see who is now throwing their weight behind these blockchain projects, as well as I want to talk about at the end of the video where XRP is going based off of something critical emerging in the market. Like always, your support means so much to this channel. Thank you to everyone who takes the time to like these videos and subscribe to the channel. These simple things really do help me out so much. Also, if you ever need a good place to buy some XRP, make sure to check out my favorite exchange Uphold down in the description of this video. With that said, let's jump right into it, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. So I wanted to say real quick, it looks like we've hit 100,000 subscribers on the channel. Thank you to everyone who helped me get there. Absolutely surreal to be sitting at the 100K mark, especially as someone who grew up looking up to a lot of people on YouTube. Never in a million years did I ever think that I would kind of be on the other side of the equation. But the shout out really goes to all of you, because at the end of the day, I'm just a guy who gets behind the camera, talks about his thesis on the digital asset ecosystem. And it's just so incredible to have such a great community at my back who all see this similar vision that these digital assets are going to be immensely important in the financial system we're heading into. Now, for the longest time, when we had that vision, we were pretty outside of what a lot of the major institutions were looking at, as well as government regulators. And in fact, we faced significant government pushback when it came to actually upgrading the legacy system and bringing in better technology. And funny enough, one of the biggest haters of this technology was the SEC. We all know that the SEC cracked down hard over the past 4 years, essentially saying this technology is nothing more than some speculative pump and dump and doesn't have any material utility. Well, guys, take a look at what a couple months can do to how a government regulator will look at this industry. Because earlier today, the SEC actually posted and said that the topic of the SEC right now is essentially migrating from traditional off-chain databases to blockchain-based on-chain ledger systems. The movement of securities from off-chain to on-chain is akin to the transition of audio recordings from analog vinyl records to cassette tapes to digital software decades ago. They are talking about how this shift completely transformed industries as we know it, and they are essentially saying that the United States becoming the crypto capital of the world is immensely important to supporting this revolution. This is the SEC, the largest financial regulator in the entire world, talking about how cryptocurrency technology and blockchain-based systems are going to be immensely important in rebuilding the financial system as we know it. For the longest time, this was seen as just oh, maybe one day we get adoption. Oh, maybe one day these things happen. Now, not only do you have the major financial institutions telling you that this is not going to be done in private databases, this is not going to be done on private blockchain technologies, this is going to be done on the public ledgers. Now, not only do you have those large financial institutions confirming that is how they plan to implement this technology, but the government regulators are getting on board as well. I'm really not sure what some people need to see to really grasp this vision. It seems like now we're kind of at that age of the internet where everyone's on board that this technology is far too important to ignore, but not a lot of people have truly wrapped their head around how immense the transformation is going to be. Seems like a lot of people are still not fully grasping what this means for the price of these assets and what it's going to do to the way the entire world economy operates. But we're going to get there very quickly, because for the first time ever, we have the two missing pieces, and that's buy-in from the people who manage and control the trillions and quadrillions of dollars, and also the regulators who will allow them to do it. The fact that this is happening right in front of us is insane, and I think you're really starting to see it play out in the narratives as well. Earlier today, we saw that Wisdom Tree, one of the larger ETF providers, actually just put out a brand new note talking about how they think adding XRP to complement Bitcoin in an investor's portfolio is an extremely important and suitable decision. This is just the start of this industry moving from Bitcoin only to crypto assets that are going to do things with utility outside of the Bitcoin ecosystem. And this narrative has just begun, right? Obviously, it was all going to start when the Ripple SEC case ended. And then after that ended, we were likely going to see more and more financial institutions stepping in and saying, you know what? Well, we actually want to use this technology now that there's no regulatory uncertainty and now that all our competitors are stepping in. Well, we want to be able to take advantage of it. The core utility of what Ripple is doing with XRP is going to be a no-brainer to these traditional investment firms who just want to get clients allocated to blue chip digital assets. XRP fits that motto perfectly. And what we're seeing right now is the amount of volume potentially that could come flowing in because of this is on a scale that vastly, and I mean vastly, dwarfs the volume we've seen flowing into the industry thus far. Obviously, over the past couple of days, we have seen a pretty significant pump in XRP. One of my favorite things to do is actually take a look at how much money caused the pump. And guys, what we can see is the $16.6 billion market cap move we have seen in XRP over the past couple of weeks essentially happened with only $61 million US flowing into the ecosystem. Guys, if we have XRP moving like this, off a mere $61 million coming into the ecosystem, what do you think is going to happen when multiple people, multiple high net worth clients on these traditional financial exchanges say, hey, I would like to allocate 10% of my portfolio, $100 million into XRP? They're not going to be the only ones doing it either. This is going to go around all the major high net worth, big brokerage houses, wire houses, anyone looking to stay ahead of the curve when it comes to investing capital. And for the first time ever, XRP is going to be sitting there right in front of them alongside Bitcoin. This is going to cause so much money to flow into this ecosystem. This pump of $61 million coming in won't even be registered on the chart. And this is what people don't realize. For the longest time, the cryptocurrency market was cut off from liquidity. Liquidity couldn't enter because it was viewed as uncompliant to do so. The second that changes, everyone's minds are going to change. And like I always say, JP Morgan themselves have already predicted that $8 to $10 billion could flow in because of these ETFs. This is no small amount of money, especially when we see that only a couple $1,000,000 coming into XRP is raising the market cap by tens of billions. Just imagine what would happen if we actually saw single days where hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars were rolling into this ecosystem. Guys, this would cause movements in the charts we have never seen to date. And the other big thing that was really holding us back for a while was the fact that, well, cryptocurrencies are still very early and people look at them as a risky asset. And based off of what was happening in the economy, everyone was kind of saying, maybe we'll just wait to start touching these things. Well, guys, earlier today, according to Polymarket, the odds of a recession have plummeted. And this is one of the things that I was trying so hard to get across to you guys, because there was no actual data showing that there was really any real concern of a recession. There's a lot of people essentially hyper worrying about what inflation and what tariffs could do to the US economy. But the problem is inflation was already pretty much gone, and the tariffs were nothing more than a bargaining chip by President Trump. So everyone was freaking out, selling off assets, moving to cash, saying there is now going to be a recession, but failed to actually analyze that all the things that they were worrying about weren't going to be long-term in nature, and in fact were nothing more than a media fear catalyst in order to shake people up, in order to get people mad, to get people unhappy with the current administration. And I'm not even commenting on whether or not people had the right or didn't have the right to be unhappy with the administration. But the fact of the matter is no one was actually looking to the data on why these assets shouldn't have been impacted by the macro news. If you were able to see through the fact that this macro news was going to have zero impact on XRP. And in fact, might have actually been pretty bullish considering that people were getting it wrong and they were ultimately going to realize they were getting it wrong and had to flood back in. It was so obvious that the only thing to do over the past couple weeks was cover your eyes and say, you know what? Most of the market has this completely wrong. I'm going to say that a tariff threat by Trump that will never materialize won't have any impact in the long-term success of digitizing the financial system. If anything, it just makes it even more important to move to trustless, neutral ways of conducting business, especially with so many countries not trusting each other anymore. So that thesis was never in jeopardy. And the people who hyper-focused on what a tariff might do to XRP, those were the people who just ended up putting themselves in a situation where they forgot what they held and got shaken out by the macro news. But anyone who said, you know what, this has nothing to do with my investment is doing something far more important that will not be impacted, those are the people who were able to stomach this and reach this new level with XRP where it's now sitting above every major resistance. Earlier this morning, XRP spiked up above the 250 level, essentially putting XRP completely out of the danger territory of falling below this $2 mark and allowing it to reclaim support prior to this entire sell-off gaining any momentum. We've been talking about this on the channel for a while, and I've done this about 1,000 times, but it looks like XRP has now completely completed this reversal and is now looking to push towards brand new all-time highs. All we need to do is trade sideways here for a couple weeks, confirm this for support, and I think there is a high probability we are going to be back in the $3 range sooner than later. A lot of people got really shaking out, like I've been saying, with news that had no impact on their investment. But the rest of the world is waking up to the fact that this technology, regardless of short-term fear catalyst, is going to be critically important and demand valuations the world has never seen before. Those are the digital assets we're focused on. That is the transformation we're focused on. And no amount of short-term fear is going to change the reality that the entire system desperately needs an upgrade, and everyone is on board with making that happen. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed this update, and for now, Mickle out.
Mickle's got the scoop on the blockchain beat. News so fresh, it can stay in the street. Utility, rising markets taking flight. Investors flocking to the bull market light. Shorts are buzzing, prices climbing high. Hold your assets, don't let them fly by. Crypto news you need, it's Mickle's game. Guiding through the maze, setting wallets aflame. Reporting loud with the fervor so electric. Mickle's here to help you stay eclectic. Position yourself in the digital flow. Bull market pounding, let your profits grow. Decentralized finance, the future's here. Reading trends with no hint of fear. Smart contracts, changing the cash. Mickle's insight makes your portfolio flash. Crypto bites a market site.